After performing the Phase I environmental site assessment, what we always find is clients are disappointed to hear that even if a Phase I environmental site assessment is clean, that they're not in the free and clear when they're specifically dealing with a development site. And in this case, what we're talking about is when a Phase I can be useless versus priceless. Let's talk about the first scenario, useless. If you're a developer and you're talking about developing a site, demolishing the existing structures, taking soil out of the site itself, and creating a new building that maybe has subsurface parking. In that case, you might have a Phase I that is clean with no recognized environmental conditions, but does not mean it's a clean bill of health that can guarantee that there are no environmental issues associated with the site. The one thing to keep in mind is the environmental conditions on the site itself in the Phase I can only identify potential use cases and risks associated with the historical uses of the site. What it does not take into account a lot of times are contaminants that might be present in the soil, in which case you would have to still do a subsurface investigation. So for us, for developers, we always caution them, because even if they're buying a site that has a clean Phase I, doesn't guarantee them there's never going to be any type of environmental issues associated with the site. Number two, in another case where a Phase I is useless is that it doesn't deal with the building itself. So for example, the building might have asbestos or lead or PCBs or mold, and those are items that you're going to have to address during your development and demolition process. Even if a Phase I is clean, it will not address those items. They're excluded from the Phase I. So you might, again, have a clean Phase I, but still have a list of environmental issues that you would need to deal with in preparation for your site getting to construction and getting built. The last part is vapors. The Phase I environmental site assessment does not address concerns related to things like radon and other aspects of the subsurface conditions. So you might still have a clean Phase I environmental site assessment, but if you're in a high radon zone which contributes to a hazard, you might still find that you need to address that radon concern even though you have a clean Phase I. So it's always good to keep in mind what the limitations are for a Phase I and when it can be useful for you and when you might need to do further studies regardless of the outcome. And that is basically, if you're developing a site, you're demolishing a site, you're taking soil out, a clean Phase I isn't going to help you. You're still going to need to perform other studies. Now the second scenario when it's very useful to do a Phase I, in our opinion, is typically when you're doing a refinance or a straightforward transaction of an already built site. In those types of scenarios, the Phase I is deemed more of a transactional checklist item that needs to be completed as a part of the closeout process. And as a result, the likelihood of finding any surprises is minimal. And you're not going to be impacted by the property because you're keeping the use the same. And as a result, the level of impact is minimized. So in those cases, the Phase I is perfect because it's a lender requirement. You're just checking the box. There's no difference in use case. There's no impact to soil, impact to the construction or the site itself. And scenarios like that, the Phase I serves its great purpose of protecting your liability from a site you're purchasing. So it's always good to keep in mind your business plan for the property and always consult with an environmental team and environmental experts to be able to make sure to guide you through your process to help you understand which reports are going to be useful and which reports may not be as useful as you think. Hope that helps. If you found the information useful, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification to make sure you're informed the next time we upload a video.